the other crews, then make for the armory.
Right, follow me, men. At the bubble. Come on, let's go. Seal the operations room. Go! Stand by over there!
Grab a weapon. Come on, let's go.
When I was at ABC, because I had a career before Warner Brothers. When I was at ABC, we had a local TV show here in LA, AMLA.
Yeah.
Roger Moore came on the show a couple of times, and
Love
then he did an interview in our commissary with the entertainment editor for the local station KABC.
Right.
And Roger Moore was there, so I went up and I sat and I watched. I liked Roger way back in the 50s when he was doing Maverick, when he was James Garner's replacement of Maverick. So I was interested. I got him to sign. He wrote a book about the making of Live and Let Die. I got him to sign it for me. But I was listening to him talk to the entertainment editor, and the guy alluded to the fact that there's so much humor and this stuff is kind of ridiculous. And Roger, as an example, I'm paraphrasing because he's certainly a lot more eloquent than I am, and handsome. He said, well, I mean, how can you be a spy if you go to some foreign city and they go, oh, Mr. Bond, yes, shaken, not stirred. I mean, how effective can you be as a spy?
Right, right. I don't know if you know this, but Adrian Paul and I did Roger Moore's final interview a couple of days before he passed away.
Yes, I do know. I do know that. Yeah.
Yeah, which was kind of, it's sort of surreal. It's not the interview I wanted because he was in his chateau in Switzerland, but he was forthcoming and you can get a real sense of his humor. I mean, I got the feeling, maybe you did too, but I got the feeling that he felt very lucky to be Roger Moore.
Yes. Yes.
That there was no ego. Like he felt like he'd won the lottery and he didn't take it too seriously or take himself too seriously.
Right.
He spent his twilight just doing charity work, which tells you a lot about him.
Well,
actually.
he did one of the voices for us in Cats and Dogs. I think it was Cats and Dogs 2.
Yeah.
Where he was the Blofeld of whatever the dog or cat organization were the villains in that one.
Yeah.
And I went to the ISDN line. For people who don't know what that is, they have a room and they used to hook everything up with an ISDN line so that you could get everybody could talk to one another, and it was a high quality audio line that you could use and record from it, and it was acceptable to use in motion pictures.
Right.
But I went into the ADR room where they had the ISDN line set up. I just wanted to go in and listen to Roger and hear his jokes and stuff. It was great. I mean, he was just always great to be around, and I really liked him. He was a good guy. His movies are inferior to Sean Connery's.
Well, hold up. As a kid who grew up in the 70s, I felt that Roger Moore was current with our time and Sean Connery seemed a little bit ancient. Now, I understand those are classy movies and they've made a comeback and the style of the 60s and everything. I get it. But at the time, it's who you grew up with. It's who you saw, actually, I think, on the big screen coming at you versus who you saw on the little screen. And
I'm sure Timothy Dalton has fans and
he does.
I've met them all.
Yeah.
Every single James Bond I've met because of where I am in the industry. Although when I
Right.
met Sean Connery the first time, I was not yet in the business, but
Hold up, just wait. Circle back to the Sean Connery part of this. I was about to say Roger Moore may not be your favorite Bond, but Roger Moore was the coolest Bond as a person.
I was pleased. I have to tell you, I was always a Roger Moore fan. I loved him when he did Maverick. I watched the features he did. You know, when I before he was doing Bond, I liked the Persuaders that he did on TV, and I liked the Bond stuff. I liked the post-Bond stuff he did. I always had an affinity for Roger Moore, going back to Maverick, which I was watching when I was 4 years old. You know, on television.
When we did Roger Moore's final interview, it came up after we talked to him. And it was kind of like a pivotal moment for us because, I mean, this guy, not only a titan of charity work and UNICEF, but just who he was to all of us, cinema-wise. And when it was over, we started talking about our favorite Bond lines or Roger Moore lines. I actually talked to him and said, my favorite line is not from you, but it's to you. And it's not even in a Bond movie because he did a lot of really cool movies that weren't Bond.
Yeah.
You know, like Folks I
love Folks.
Yeah, great movie directed by a friend of ours, Andrew V. McLaughlin, and he also did The Wild Geese. And I said, there's that moment where you guys are doing your paratroop drop training, and you have to run up the ladder, jump off the platform, and tumble and roll. And Jack Watson is like the master sergeant, and Roger Moore gets up and does it. The first guy gets up and does it really good, and he's like, okay, great, next. Roger Moore gets up and does it, and he hits the ground with a thud because in The Wild Geese, they're mercenaries that are kind of over the hill.
Right.
It's like one last mission.
Yes.
So he hits like a ton of bricks, and Jack Watson goes, that was ludicrous, sir. You're jumping from an airplane, not a whorehouse window. Roger Moore, the look on Roger Moore's face is just like, well, I've done both.
Your road to redemption is paved with tombstones. No quarter, kill all masters. Go to noquarterkillallmasters.com. Rated R.